In this lesson, I'll explain how to recognize and to form the pluperfect tense of the Latin verb, the indicative active regular pluperfect of the Latin verb. To begin, here is the usual table that I provide at the beginning of these lessons, which is the pluperfect as it appears across all of the groups or conjugations or paradigms of the verbs that I'm using. If you look at it, you will doubt to see at once that it is an extraordinarily regular tense. I have said in other lessons that the imperfect is the easiest and the most regular tense. I still think that the imperfect is the easiest to recognize because it has that BA in it. But I think the pluperfect comes very close to the imperfect in its ease of recognition. Here, if you haven't gathered it already, is how to form the pluperfect. You take the perfect stem, however that may be formed, and if you followed my lesson on the perfect, you'll see that there is a variety of ways in which the perfect stem is formed, but you take the perfect stem, however that may be formed, and to this you add the imperfect tense of sum. And so, amaveram, I had loved. But let us go through it. Here is the perfect stem of amo, amav. To it, you add the imperfect tense of sum, and you have amaveram. So that is the pluperfect tense. However, let us go through the various tables. Here we have the usual order of persons. We'll start with amo. Here is amav. To it, you add the relevant tense of sum, amaveram, I had loved or I had liked. Amaveras, amaverat, amaveramus, amaveratis, amaverant. And here, just in case you haven't noticed how it is formed, here is the imperfect tense of sum. Notice the perfect correspondence of endings. There really isn't much to this tense, but let's have a look at the others. Monu, monuaram. There it is. No need to go through each individual part. It is exactly the same as amo type verbs. Rex, rexaram. There it is, exactly the same. Kep, keperam. Again, exactly the same. And here is audio, audiv, audiveram. There it is. And so there is the pluperfect tense. It is very easy to recognize and very easy to form. I suppose the only slight difficulty you might have is that you should be very careful not to confuse they had loved, or they had warned, or they had ruled, or they had taken, or they had heard. You should be very careful not to confuse the erant endings with the erunt endings of the perfect tense. But apart from that possible wrinkle, there is the pluperfect tense. And so thank you for having followed this lesson, but there really isn't that much to follow.